Despite his dubious beginnings, Deadpool struck a chord with fans when they realized this was a hero who tickles funny bones 1 minute and breaks them the next. And as a result, Wade Wilson has made a long list of enemies. In fact, Deadpool has come to blows with Marvel's heroes almost as often as its villains. I'm Ewan, this is One Culture Comics, and here are 10 Marvel Comics characters that Deadpool has killed. Number 10. Mercedes Wilson. During the mid-1990s, Marvel Comics shed light on Wade Wilson's pre-Deadpool career with a storyline that took a deep dive into his origin, introducing fans to an unhinged mercenary who was yet again self-healing abilities. The arc revealed how a man named Wade T. Wilson and his wife Mercedes rescued a guy from an icy river in Maine and nursed him back to health, only to discover their patient is a ruthless merc whose grasp on reality is, well, faltering. This, of course, is Deadpool, and it isn't long before he begins fantasizing about becoming Wade T, a twisted dream he tries to realize by attempting to murder the man who fished him out of that river in the first place, only to accidentally kill his wife instead. At the time, readers were led to believe Deadpool also killed Wade T and made off with his identity, but one plot twist later, he returned to the mouthy merc's life as the villainous T-Ray. Number 9. Mr. Immortal. There's a mutant in the Marvel Universe who goes by the name of Mr. Immortal. Guess what his superpower is? Yep, he's the comic equivalent of South Park's Kenny. No matter how many times you kill him, he just keeps coming back. Writers have had a lot of fun pitting Deadpool against Mr. Immortal over the years. The latter is a form of man called Homo Supreme, who are expected to live until the end of time, and Wade Wilson often makes it his mission to challenge that theory. Over the years, Deadpool has subjected Craig Hollis to all kinds of lethal punishment, and while he's succeeded in killing him, Mr. Immortal only stays dead for a matter of minutes, which is a short length of time, even for a Marvel Comics character. The fourth wall-smashing merc has decapitated Hollis more than once, tricked him into downing a fatal volume of alcohol, and even lodged a remote control in his head. Number 8. Flagsmasher. Several characters have adopted the moniker of Flagsmasher in the Marvel Universe, and they're usually expendable. Each belong to a terrorist organization called Ultimatum, which has given Deadpool a few problems in recent years. Wade Wilson was responsible for dispatching the third-generation Flagsmasher in 2015's Deadpool number 45, and he got the job done in business-like fashion. Nothing fancy, just a old bullet between the eyes that turned the villain's face into a big old gaping hole. For Deadpool though, this kill was personal, coming in retribution after the terrorist leader had attempted to kidnap the merc's daughter. Wade had set a trap for Flagsmasher, who arrived on the scene flanked by a squad of other Ultimatum members. Deadpool kills his cronies via weaponized drones before taking down their boss up close and personal. Number 7. Predator X. X-Men villain William Stryker never managed to pull off his plan to wipe out mutant kind while he was alive, but the living weapon he commissioned before his death, the monstrous Predator X beasts, almost did the job on his behalf. The first of these animal-mutant amalgamations went after Deadpool and Cable during the Messiah Complex event, and that's a mistake it wouldn't live to regret. Wade Wilson was swallowed whole by the beast and regurgitated moments later, but not before he planted a grenade in its stomach, blowing it up from the inside. The second Predator X did a lot more damage, killing several D-list mutants on its way to the X-Mansion, where it wreaked all kinds of havoc, causing multiple casualties before making the schoolboy error of swallowing Wolverine. Logan's adamantium claws proved just as effective as Deadpool's grenade when applied to the inside of the Predator's belly. That's a lot of goop. Number 6. Phil Coulson. Secret Empire was one of the most controversial Marvel Comics events in recent history, not least because it transformed Captain America into a sleeper agent loyal to Hydra. Yeah, that alone was enough to convince the fans to dust off their pitchforks, but when Hydra Cap ordered Deadpool to assassinate MCU favorite agent Phil Coulson, the publisher risked sparking a full-scale reader revolt. In an emotional issue of Deadpool that came out the other year, the merc with a mouth hunts down Coulson on Cap's orders and puts a bullet right through his heart. Blinded by his friendship and admiration for Steve Rogers, Wade Wilson is unable to see the all-American hero has been compromised by the enemy. Coulson, meanwhile, found himself on the hit list after learning the truth about his idol, and it's heartbreaking to see a Captain America superfan come to the realization that his whole world has just come crashing down. Number 5. Captain America. Sort of. Okay, so it was a clone of Captain America that Deadpool killed on this occasion, but it totally counts since Dr. Bong's genetically engineered version of Steve Rogers had the same powers and combat skills as the real Sorry, Dr. Bong! Oh man, I'm a simple man, sorry. Ooh, Dr. Bong. Anyway, even by Golden Age Marvel comic standards, Dr. Bong is a goofy villain. He has a metal ball where his left hand should be, and uses it to create concussive blasts by striking the steely appendage against his bell-shaped helmet. Oh god, this just keeps getting better. Oh god. But 2010's Deadpool Volume 2 reimagined the villain as a more credible threat. A master of genetic engineering who uses this know-how to create clones of Cap, Black Widow, and Moon Knight, and lures Deadpool into teaming up with them. As the story came to a head and the deception came to light, Wade Wilson found himself locked in brutal conflict with the foe Captain America, and the merc actually came out on top, putting an end to his cloned opponent with a rifle shot to the head. The Secret Avengers help Deadpool bring Dr. Bong to justice, but it's the merc who has the final say, cutting off the mad villain's arm so he can no longer wield his primary weapon before handing him over to the real Cap and his teammates. Number 4. Ajax. Deadpool movie fans will know Francis Fanny Freeman, who also goes by the name of Ajax, following Ed Skrein's portrayal on screen, which ended abruptly when Wade Wilson put a bullet in his head while Colossus was delivering a monologue. Ajax was a solid choice for the film's big bad, since he was a bitter rival to Deadpool in the original comics, and features heavily in the merc's origin story. After years of fierce battles, Wade finally put an end to Fanny in 1998's Deadpool number 19, and it wasn't via a bullet to the head like in the movie. During their final showdown, the pair plunge into icy water and tangle in the depths before Deadpool wraps his legs around Ajax's head and snaps his neck off panel. Since Francis isn't Uncle Ben, he didn't stay dead indefinitely, but he was no longer Ajax when he returned, coming back as the Abyss Man following a brief stint in hell, as you do. Number 3. Cable. Wade Wilson had a tough time during the Marvel Legacy era, first being duped into killing poor old Phil Coulson, and then being forced to assassinate his old pal Cable in Despicable Deadpool number 290. The mouthy merc was forced into this one by Cable's clone, the mutant supervillain terrorist known as Strife. Faced with the possibility of his daughter coming to harm if he refused, Deadpool reluctantly agrees to carry out the hit. Cable, it turns out, isn't so simple to assassinate, and Wade's initial attempt on his life fails miserably. But when he realizes the true nature of Deadpool's predicament, he feels compelled to help him, since Strife is his clone and all that. Concluding that Strife is unbeatable, Cable decides they must give his clone what he wants, so he arranges for Wade to travel to the distant future to meet up with an elderly, damaged version of himself nearing the end of his life. Deadpool eases his passing with a single gunshot and takes his heart to Strife as proof of the deed. Number 2. The entire Marvel Universe. Marvel Comics thought it might be fun to let a rabid Deadpool off his leash outside of its mainline universe and hand him a license to kill every superhero on its books, no matter how iconic they may be, and they weren't wrong about that. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe kicks off when Psycho Man attempts to turn the merc into a mindless assassin. The procedure fails, but leaves him more unhinged than ever, and it isn't long before a voice in his head tells him that he needs to kill everyone. Like, everyone. Wade Wilson takes these words literally and begins a killing spree that leaves everyone from Spider-Man to the Fantastic Four dead diddly dead. He reduces the Thing to a pile of bricks, slits the Human Torch's throat, and shoots Spidey in the head. Yeah, there's a good reason why this didn't take place in the mainline Marvel continuity. He also slays most of the X-Men, the Punisher, the Hulk, and even Howard the Duck, who he then roasts for good measure. But the bloodshed doesn't stop there. In true Deadpool style, he smashes through the fourth wall, kills the writing team, and vows to come looking for the readers next. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. And number 1. The entire Marvel Universe. again. Wade Wilson's murderous rampage proved so popular that Marvel gave him an encore, but Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, again, is a completely different story. While the original miniseries was a metatextual affair that played for laughs and novelty value, the sequel is more straight-laced and in some ways tragic. Once again, Deadpool murders anyone in spandex, but this time he isn't a willing agent of chaos. His slaughterfest is the result of mind control courtesy of a villain collective led by Red Skull, Magneto, and Doctor Doom. Deadpool is barely aware of what he's doing, but there are hints that the horrors of his actions are registering. He's a brainwashed hero who needs rescuing, rather than a psychotic killer that needs to be put down. But that isn't to say there aren't some insane fatalities to revel in. One of the highlights of the miniseries comes in the first issue, when Wade rounds up the gods of Asgard, turns them to stone using a Gorgon head, and smashes them to pieces. And if you think that's crazy, just wait until you read the later issues where Deadpool becomes fused with Ultron and places his Avengers buddies in his crosshairs. And those were 10 Marvel characters Deadpool has killed. What's your favourite Wade Wilson murder? Let us know down in the comments below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to What Culture Comics so you don't miss another upload going forward. I've been Ewan, I hope you're all doing okay, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!